Hey y'all, what's up? I've been trying to do this thing for like however long. It's been a minute. Tired. It's been a long day. We'll play some more games tomorrow. For now, let's just do a little reaction stream. You know, some light. Let's make sure my mic is going right. Properties. Bruh. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Alright, it's working pretty right. So, let's just do a little something, you know? Range my rover.
And a cast that feels as expansive as 5 randos who come to represent the entirety of Harlem. The only Miles Morales
go
is
back to the
surrounded by
beginning on
weak
this bad boy.
supporting characters and a cast
Cheap
that
viewers,
feels as expansive
I'm good,
as
gang
5
link.
randos who come to represent the entirety of Harlem.
But
the only real standout was Rio Morales, who has by far
thanks for
the
stopping
best
in.
emotional moment in the game and serves as the most competent figure in Miles' life, which is a low bar. The game's real problem, though,
Maybe drop
is
a
its
follow, you know.
villains. The Prowler is about as cliche a representation of Uncle Aaron as possible, although his boss fight is a standout. He's pretty much
His
just
boss fight's
Miles'
pretty
Black
fucking good.
Cat, if you took away the sex appeal and made her
Right.
Spider-Man's middle-aged uncle instead. Simon Krieger is barely a character.
Yeah, you got a
This
problem with that,
Topher
buddy?
Grace-looking ass started off with promise.
I liked Uncle Aaron in that game, but his arc was so speed ran, it was fucking crazy. Diabolical work on God. What was that? Whatever. But yeah, no, it was a crazy fucking speed run of a character arc. Also, side note, this suit has the best looking eyes, I think, in the whole game. Like, they should have just made this mask, like these eyes, the default mask. It would have set him apart from Peter and been like super awesome and sick.
And quickly became a millennial caricature of your standard evil CEO.
Yeah, he's just
Norman
evil,
Osborn,
man.
stripped of anything menacing or interesting. But
Evil blonde
the
man.
villain taking home the trophy for biggest disappointment is Finn Mason. What a disaster. I wanted to like Finn. She has a classic Spider-Man villain origin, and her
Yeah,
connection to
someone
Miles had the
someone
potential.
got slimed out, and now I'm here for revenge. And then Spider-Man's like, nah, we don't do revenge around here. And then they're like, well, not give a fuck, but you say Spider-Man, and then they get annihilated because he like throws them into a vat of acid or some shit on accident.
For great emotional storytelling. She set up as his foil, where he lost his father tragically and had a support system in his life that helped him turn his grief into a force for good.
Whatever.
Finn lost her
This
brother
fucking thing's
and was left
geeking.
alone, converting her grief to fuel for her evil schemes. That's the problem, though. This game wants to have its cake and eat it too. They are
Yeah,
so
it's not
desperate
fucking
for the player
hungry.
to sympathize with Finn that it's nauseating.
Yeah, like they like try and force some shit, and it just like it doesn't work because. Alright, that's fucked. It's okay, no one watches on YouTube anyways. Oh, did it work? I can't tell. But like nothing like works, you know? Like they try and force it, but it doesn't work out as well as they want because they're trying to squeeze this character into being sympathetic but also a villain. It's
Yet,
weird.
as
Like you can be a sympathetic villain, but the way they did it here is not
the
right.
main villain, the story also forces her to, you know, be a horrible psycho hellbent on death and destruction. It just doesn't
Yeah.
work, but it could have. So, in this video,
It
I
definitely
want to break
could've.
down why Finn Mason's failure as a villain is the worst part of Miles Morales' story, and
It's because they made her a fucking dunce. He was like, hey, if you do this, you're gonna blow up the city, and she was just like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like,
then
bruh, what are you
I
doing?
want to talk about the simple fix that could have solved everything. There are 3 major problems
My
with
hair's
Finn. her
Devious.
relationship with Miles, her plan to take on Roxxon, and her Tinkerer persona. We're introduced to Finn early on as Miles is
when she's tinkering with the doorbell. Would you like many viewers? I would, but I'm not their body.
lost childhood friend from Brooklyn, and their relationship starts off kind of flirty. The timeline of when Miles last saw Finn is extremely vague.
Friend date is
And only
crazy.
exacerbated when it's revealed that her older brother, Rick, has
Yeah, he
been
got
dead for
slimed the
either
fuck out.
months or years, depending on if you trust dialogue exposition.
Yeah, it's not really clear because, like, on one hand they say it's been months, but this kid does not look anything like a month apart from the other guy. He looks years apart.
Or his in-game grave. Her personality is just that she's better than Miles in every way, and God is she smug about it. Also, she's some kind of out-of-this-world child.
Oh yeah, and
genius,
she's
even
Tony
more so
Stark
than
too.
The typical young Spider-Man characters, like social media guru to the stars, Genki. I'll be getting into her technological feats a bit later because there's
Sorry, I
a
had to grab my little
problem.
thing.
But that's Finn, an unlikable jerk who keeps the death of a loved one hidden from those who care about him for no reason. Throughout the game, Finn continues to act increasingly horribly to Miles. Perhaps the most horrendous and unforgivable act comes really early on. Finn sends the Underground to attack Roxxon Plaza, while Miles' mom is holding a political rally against
She activated
Roxxon,
Bro's
resulting in a
PTSD.
gunfight in front of innocent citizens, and Miles' mom being injured enough to go to the hospital. For no reason, too. The Underground
Just,
real
like,
target
start a
is
fight
truck
here, by the
caravan
way.
on the other side of town. So Finn had to
Let's just,
explicitly
like, start a
decide
gunfight for
to
no
also
reason.
send a contingent of her gang to assault this rally.
Keep-
Knowing people
keep
she
game.
claims to care about would be exposed to danger. That's it. Full stop. She's a horrible, horrible friend. She
Yeah,
later
she fucking
apologizes to
sucks.
Miles and blames things going wrong on Spider-Man.
Lady, your plan was flawed from the very beginning, alright? Spider-Man ain't the reason your dumbass plan failed, okay?
She fucking Jameson? How is this
Yes.
at all forgivable, and why is it brushed under the rug as though it's not a big deal? Well, dear viewer, that's
Howdy.
because this game bends over backwards to frame Finn as a sympathetic and misguided antagonist, not the outright villain she clearly...
She gives off major Flag Smashers vibes. Like from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like, oh, yeah, sympathize with me, but I just killed like 15 guys for no reason other than Viva la Revolution. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not it.
is. That's constantly made clear through the interpersonal interactions Finn and Miles have
Oh, one
throughout the
sec.
game,
Need to get
where
under
for
here
some
real
reason,
quick.
he's always painted as being in the wrong. Oh, sorry my gang almost killed your mom. If only Spider-Man hadn't stopped them. No worries! You're the best, Finn. Would you like to spit in my coffee, too? Now, the reason this characterization is a problem isn't because I personally don't like Finn. The entire plot hinges on Miles and Finn's relationship, and if that relationship is flimsier than wet paper,
Yeah, no.
the emotional through line of the story crumbles. The internal conflict that
I'm
Miles
not
faces
entirely
is
sure
defined
what the
by his
relationship is supposed to be. Like, brother, sister, or like weird will they, won't they type energy. I don't know. It's just, it needs to decide. Decide what you want to be.
conflicted feelings over Finn. He understands her pain, but his responsibility as Spider-Man puts them at odds. They made it easy to side with Finn, pitting her against a nasty corporate giant with a douchebag
Period.
CEO.
Exactly.
Everything was stacked
Slay.
in her favor, and yet
Mm.
I hated her
Mhm.
by the end. And the reason
Oh,
for that is
my
simple.
elbow.
She treats Miles like shit,
Oh.
putting aside the assault she organized on
That
his
shit
mom
wasn't
and
right.
the constant bashing
Ugh.
of his intelligence every chance she gets. The real meat of her horrendous behavior toward Miles comes when he reveals himself as Spider-Man. Now,
Yeah.
Miles did lie to Finn about wanting to join the Underground, and I get that would sting.
But he's like a superhero, and he shouldn't just he can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm a superhero to everyone he knows. That's what it's like in the sequels, and it's like the sequels, like there's only one. The sequel, it's just like I know nowadays the like secret identity thing is kind of being phased out, but I miss it, man. It's good. It's a good trope. Why do they have to kill my boy like that? That and origin stories. Like, have you noticed how every superhero thing just skips the origin story now? Like every single one. No Batman, no Superman, even for characters you've never seen on the big screen before. Also, she's not a boss girl. She's a dumb girl. She's a doofus. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. But that's his alright. They're like friends in the game. Like, their relationship is very ill-defined, but it's like Ironheart and Wakanda Forever, they just say she has a suit. That's that. It's like, wait, what? Hold on. What about the beginnings of this character? Wait, bring me back. Why? You know? So it's like, it's just a weird situation where people are like, man, we're sick of origin stories. So then we don't get origin stories for characters whose origins we don't know. It's like even for characters we do know, like, imagine being a kid watching the Superman movie for the first time, and you just walk in there and you're like, who is that? Why is he fighting the big monster? It's like, the kids aren't gonna know. They just got here, you know? They weren't here for Man of Steel, and even if they were, they probably shouldn't watch that movie. It's bad. So it's like, could throw us a little bit of an origin story on that one. Maybe do it right for like the first time. You know? It's just, I miss secret identities, I miss origin stories, I miss fighting the villain that has the exact same power set as the hero. I miss that one a little less, but still.
Definitely,
I don't know, I liked it.
Not a nice thing to do, but from this reveal until the very end of the game,
I like how his eyes are just like fogging. He's just constantly aura farming no matter what.
Is how big of a liar Miles is. It's the crux of the final fight. Finn just can't bring herself to believe anything Miles tells her because he lied.
I forgot how hard she gripped him there. She hit him with one of these. Sent his ass flying. Hold on one sec. Yeah, turn my light on. He grabbed his ass and went, oh, bitch. She threw his ass. I'm sorry to stray completely off topic, but I was thinking about it. Thought on Marvel Zombies. Haven't seen it, but I'm not a big fan of zombies. Zombies have never been something I'm very fond of. Sorry, Dawn of the Dead, but
into her domestic
I don't like zombies very much.
The hypocrisy on display is
I think they're kind of boring.
And the game
but keep in mind, like 2010s was the time I grew up, so like everywhere I looked, there was like some zombie shit. And I never watched like any of it, but it was just constantly surrounding every facet of life. Like I'd be like twiddling my thumbs because the adults are talking at like a family get together and then talking about The Walking Dead. I'm like, what? You know? I don't know. The time I was born made me sick of zombies before it even started.
Really cares to explore that side of things. I mean, she even kept Rick's death a secret from...
I forgot. I always forget about how hard she was boxing this man.
For years. Miles just takes this abuse cutscene after cutscene.
Yeah, he was just eating that.
Brutal.
Like biscuits.
I mean, Finn literally threatens to kill him because the Rhino decided to toss her a taunt.
Also, did y'all peep his acrylic nails right now?
Literally
look at that. Oh my god, he's so slay. Look at those things. Period. He was like, hold on, before you beat my ass some more, look at my nails. I just got them done. You know what I mean?
Threatens to kill him because the Rhino decided to toss her a taunt after he got beat up. She's not a good friend, and it's incredibly hard to care about a supposedly sympathetic villain when you never see her genuinely looking out for the person she purports to care about, and when her villainous plan is so downright nonsensical.
It's chilly. Good, great,
When
smart
Finn
plan.
enters the game,
What the fuck?
it's right after Miles first runs into the underground at Roxxon.
Am I genuinely tweaking, or did this man record the music on his phone for this video? Like, listen. Listen to the, excuse me, listen to the audio quality and tell me it doesn't sound like he just recorded it on his microphone.
When Finn enters the game, it's right after Miles first runs into
100% that's what he did.
the underground.
100%.
In this early
I
scene,
will not
it's
believe anything
established that
else.
Rio Morales is also a sworn
cold.
opponent of Roxxon, largely positioning her political campaign against them. With this deeply personal connection, why doesn't Finn ever try and support a public case against Roxxon? Well, because her plan doesn't make any sense.
plan's fucking
Finn's
dumb.
big scheme is to finish what Rick started and halt production of Nuform, a
Of course
dangerous
I will.
fuel source developed by Roxxon. It was created by
So the
Rick
person that knows
and was
what I'm talking about.
responsible for his illness and the death of those who were exposed to it. To stop this, Rick brought his teenage sister into a heavily guarded corporate headquarters to
I
destroy a
forgot.
dangerous fuel
He brought his little sister to defuse a nuke.
source up close and personal, but got
And he
killed
got trapped
instead.
in there and
Flash forward
eradicated.
however much time later, and Finn is still committed to destroying Nuform, and now
Dodge!
Roxxon Plaza 2.
His
For
gameplay was
some reason.
ass. He should have dodged there. Look at this. He was about to get blasted. I think he did take a little bit of damage. Sibling bonding activities. If you haven't disarmed a nuke with your sibling, then what are you doing?
Form, and
See,
now
look. He took damage. He was being a doofus.
Rock
Also, this is a side note, but the Spider-Verse suit in this game, I can't wear it. It has a lot of
Roxxon
times,
Plaza
it has
2.
that little,
Or
like, screen, like, jitter effect. Now, I get it, it's supposed to be like the movie, but it kind of just gives me a headache.
some reason. The plan is afoot. Her new gang, called the Underground, starts messing with
cold.
subway lines to keep Nuform from getting into the city. They organize an attack on a political rally opposing Roxxon for no reason, which really
Yeah.
makes no sense.
They
since
should
the
support that
Underground's
rally.
real scheme, at the same time, was to rob a truck transporting Nuform on a bridge, where Finn is revealed as the Tinkerer. She smashes
Oh yeah, that was
Miles into
such an
the truck
early
and hits
reveal
by-
too. Like that was like the first scene you saw the Tinker in, and just immediately got revealed. Like, oh, I know who this character is, and they're like, yeah, shit, we know you know, and then just took the
Miles
mask off
tries to
anyways.
to stabilize the Nuform, which destroys the bridge. Not to
That was
worry.
such a cool set
Somehow
piece.
the Nuform Finn grabbed, and the first one affected by the bioelectricity, wasn't affected at all. And she managed
She just ate that. She was just like, oh well, I'll just keep the electrically charged bomb I have on my
to
back.
escape with it, which she plans to use to blow up Roxxon Plaza, to, I guess, expose the dangers of Nuform. But that's not the danger.
Yeah.
Right, sorry.
The
Wait,
danger
does
is
it
the
make any
fucking
sense?
bomb
From here,
that you put
Finn
on the
just kind of
bridge,
hits
woman.
pause until the final act. She's just sitting on her ass and waiting for the Nuform to destabilize
She's
until
just
the
like,
plot is
eh.
ready for her to enact her scheme. Keep in mind,
I'm not gonna do anything to help against Roxxon. I'm just gonna chill, and then, whenever I feel like it, I'll blow up the city. It's
there's
fine.
about 3 hours of story between the bridge and the finale, which is about
Yeah.
half of this game's runtime. Then,
Oh, yeah, it was a short
she
game.
starts a gang war in Harlem, and the plan that Miles was trying to warn her about goes wrong. The final boss
I need you to understand that every time they talk, he's like, doing this will destroy the whole fucking city. And she's just like, no.
fight of the game
The whole
happens
time. It's
just
so
because
annoying.
She refuses to listen to reason. Even Simon Krieger chimes in over the intercom and taunts Finn about how not worried he is about her
Bro just
plan.
got
Because
flipped
why would he be? How would
mid-air.
a terrorist attack destroying Roxxon Plaza make Roxxon look bad? This is a corporation. Blowing up a building won't solve any problems. They couldn't even produce
I'll
more
just give him a
Nuform
little
by this
sympathy.
point. We see Krieger getting pissed about that, which means early on in the game, after the bridge,
If anything, she's
the
helping.
conflict ceases to be about stopping
the evil
Nuform,
people.
and for several hours, we're just watching Miles try and convince Finn over and over again not to destroy a massive tower in the middle of Harlem with an
Classic Spider-Man gadget, by the way. The black hole gun.
over
Look
again,
at this shit.
not to destroy a massive tower in the middle
Wah.
of Harlem with an experimental fuel bomb.
Like,
Well,
bruh.
I guess at the end of the day, all went according to the very dumb plan of the supervillain known as...
The stinker he ate with that.
Finn Mason is a gender
Also,
and race swap version.
God, the music on his phone is so raw. I can't even be upset about it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
The Tinkerer
Really,
from
Pop?
the comics. I have no problem with a new take on the Tinkerer. He's a C-list villain at best, and one of my favorite things about superhero games is the unique worlds they can craft, bending the original source material to fit the story they want to tell. As I mentioned before,
But the story wasn't good, man. I would have preferred the original Tinkerer. This is bullshit.
Spider-Man stories in particular are no stranger to genius teen characters, so even though Finn is well beyond the believable in even that context, this is a video game, and Miles needed some new enemies.
The thing about it is I would really love, just one of these days, to have one of these characters not be a genius. Like, can we just have, like, one of the Spider-Men just be kind of, like, stupid? And he's like, hey, can you make me web shooters like you got? And they're like, alright, I got you, fam.
Types to fight.
It's not that
to
fucking
keep his
hard.
spin-off from feeling just like a reskin of Spider-Man 2018.
Poof.
The problem isn't that
Fire.
Finn is the Tinkerer. The problem is how she uses that moniker, the gang she surrounds herself with, and the criminal operations she enacts, while the game begs us to sympathize. Two really minor complaints that I need to get off my chest before moving on. First of all, why the hell did the Underground graffiti this mural to the Tinkerer during the middle of their subway crime?
Do you not stop your subway crime scene to do a beautifully intricate mural? Because if you don't, then you got a bit of a problem, though.
I'm like she's their god. Secondly, I think her design looks really bad. In a game filled with mediocre villain designs, looking at you, Prowler.
His Prowler suit doesn't have the aura. He doesn't have his cape. The Fortnite one looks better, honest to God.
The Tinkerer's Dead Space helmet, purple hoodie, and studded leather jacket
It is
stand
Dead
out
Space.
by how little they stand out. She could blend into a crowd of her own goons. And while I appreciate the team's spirit, it does nothing to elevate her above the most common opponent in the campaign. Speaking of, let's talk about
the mustache is
Underground.
crazy.
They are both the biggest plot contrivance of the game and the biggest victims of the Tinkerer. We're told that Finn and the Underground linked up when they discovered a teenage girl creating Insano mode weapons in her garage and decided to make her their leader. Finn tells Miles
That wouldn't have happened. You know what they would have done? They would have robbed her ass at
because she couldn't
gunpoint.
achieve her goals alone, and they were willing to help for notoriety. They wanted to be able to get away with anything. So essentially, she's provided next-level tech to faceless criminals who are in this for the wrong reasons to do more crime.
Yeah,
what
she's
a
a
misunderstood
villain.
victim. However,
She's
an
a
interesting
fucking
aspect of
devious
the
little
Underground
goober
I didn't
dog.
catch on my first playthrough.
I don't understand. The story in this game wasn't good. It was entertaining mostly, but it wasn't very good.
Is that they're all getting sick from new form exposure.
Bruh.
And Finn doesn't seem to even care. We're told that everyone involved in the original new form project
From everything we've seen from this character, I don't think this bitch gives a
got
fuck.
sick.
Loki.
Somehow, even the account managers and marketing guy. It's clearly happening to the Underground in the present, who are directly handling new form
Dude.
under Finn's orders.
Dude, this fucking new electricity stuff. I think it's making my liver green. Dude, I think I have cancer because of this shit.
You can hear them complaining about their illness.
I don't know if we should
One of
hang
them
out with this
confronts
bitch
Finn about
anymore.
the dangers in a meeting. It felt like
And
this
she's
was
just
gonna
like,
go
whatever.
somewhere, but it never does.
Bruh.
Instead, the indirect implication is that Finn is acting just like Simon Krieger. She knows the risks of new form and is openly exposing other people to it without precautions for her own goals.
Maybe the
it's unclear she even
hypocrisy
told
is
them the risks before their
supposed to
mission
be there?
started. This is the illness that was killing her brother. The illness that took the lives of Rick's coworkers.
She don't give a
and
fuck
started
about
his
these
crusade to
villainous
stop Roxxon.
criminals.
It was such a weird choice for this game to include this illness with the Underground and yet have no consequences for it. The Tinkerer faces no real dissent from her ranks.
Yeah, that's what the problem is. It's a good idea, but they didn't do anything with it. They was just kind of, oh yeah, now we're getting sick too. Like, wait, what? And then, like, nothing else mattered. They were just like, oh, okay, well, let's go beat up Spider-Man. It's like, come on, dude. Like, what's going on
The
here?
illnesses of the underground go completely unaddressed once Finn's story ends. It's just this completely messed up thing to happen to faceless nobodies, and goes to show the
smack.
unwillingness of this game to pin anything truly awful on Finn's shoulder.
If someone's that close to you, like, he's covering his mouth to stop his breath, but you think if she's shouting, her breath would probably, like, bounce off of his face, and she'd be like,
She
what
was
the
outright
fuck?
killing
You know what I
it.
mean?
And while the game will hint at it, it won't confront her on it, and it won't even.
Maybe he's
condemn
not
her
that close,
for
but
it.
I feel like
Speaking of Rick,
you'd feel a little
he feels
backdraft
so
from that
shoehorned
shit.
into the game by flashbacks. Like, I get he's supposed to be a cool older brother, but I don't care. He seems
He's not
pretty
very cool.
lame, and it would have been better if I didn't
Oh shit, he roasted him. Oh. Yeah, no, he was lame though. 100%.
see him in flashbacks because they sucked. It tells you something when the best part was seeing Peter and Doc Ock together at the Science Center. They
Dr.
had a great
Octopus!
dynamic, and there was a sorrowful and warm irony in that small moment. The fallout between Peter and Otto
Yeah.
is what the relationship with Miles and Finn was trying to emulate, but I felt
That-
nothing for is what
This right here was probably the last bit of like emotion, or like, not emotion, but I think it was like one of the last bits of like real soul they had in this franchise to this point. Because like the first game, it's not as technically impressive as the second game. The combat is mostly better in the second game. I have some problems with it, but overall I would say it's more fluid. But one thing the second game is sorely lacking is heart. The first game had heart, okay? This one and the next one, like Spider-Man 2, just it's just lacking a
with
little
Miles
something.
and Finn was trying to emulate, but I felt nothing for her in this flashback. They don't share a big emotional moment. They just get up to cartoon hijinks. Finn
Yeah,
guilt
the
trips
fucking
Miles for
comically
going to a new
placed
school, and they take a lame picture
pattern
with Rick.
thingy.
The reason this is so egregious is because in the present,
like an hour
Finn
long.
has decided to execute her evil scheme in this supposedly sentimental location to spite Miles. Even Genki, who barely knows Finn, is like, oh my god, dude, I think she's really telling you to fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, she's a major
And
like
that's just
A.
Finn is a
A
truly
ranked
bad guy
bitch.
as the Tinkerer.
I got
If the
there.
story had played up how brutal she was, how intelligent she was, how
Yeah.
unhinged and dangerous she was, then she could have been a really interesting villain.
You know what she should have done? She should have just been like an absolute fucking crazy bitch. She should have been smart enough to realize that he was Spider-Man, and she should have gone fucking crazy. Like, I'm talking like Venom levels of hater. Like, go to his house, fucking jump his mom, beat her ass. like go to his best friend and be like, oh, there can only be one friend. Like, yo, boo, bah, bah. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should have been a D1 hater, and that would have made it a lot more memorable.
Because she is a bad dude. When Miles first chased after her, the way Finn got around the city was destructive.
She was
Wrecking bricks
smashing
and
everything.
windows, then leapfrogging onto cars and blowing them up.
That's how
That's a
kids be
person
walking through a
that
house
needs
with
to be stopped
faces. Voss is
immediately.
out.
And while most of the cars she blows up are parked, I spotted several that were active. Finn straight up murders innocent
She
people
straight
in
killed
that
those
sequence.
people.
Big time yikes. She likes to do the murder.
Oh, yeah,
Even
and
when they're
Miles is
fighting
just like,
Rhino,
"Eh, it's whatever."
She wants Miles to kill him. What does that have to do with exposing Roxxon? Yeah! Kill that dirtbag horn-nosed fuck, Miles. Make him suffer.
No. I agree with that one. She should have slimed his ass out.
My point is, we didn't need to be told Finn was a character worthy of our sympathy constantly. She was a bad guy doing...
I don't know. Did Rhino actually die there? Like, seriously, I have no fucking clue if he
bad
died there or
shit.
not.
And that was all good. It was the over-insistence on the opposite that threw things out of whack. We could have reveled in the villainy a bit and come to our own conclusions about her character. And
Her character
if the same
fucking
elements
sucks.
remained, but weren't beaten into our skulls, people would have developed a light sympathy to make her final moments the least bit satisfying. At the
This
end
is
of
the type of
day,
SmackDown
the Tinkerer
that
persona just shouldn't.
this is the type of SmackDown I want to lay on Spider-Man players and rivals, dude. That game really turned me into an A-grade prime member of the Sinister Six. I fucking hate that guy.
Even existed
He's such a
at all.
bitch.
Why does Finn have a supervillain name and shtick? Simon Krieger already knows who she is. Why doesn't Krieger just tell the police? There's no strategic advantage in Finn being the Tinkerer.
Well, maybe they wanted to be comic accurate, huh, Bunny? You ever think about that?
Even when
I
Krieger
think so.
knows for a fact who she is,
Krieger is such
he
a
won't tell the
boring
police for whatever
character.
reason.
He's just blonde-haired, blue-eyed villain. She's just evil. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is just a straight fucking hater, but like not in like a fun way. He's barely even a hater, honestly. He's just he's just Mr. Krabs. His sin is being Mr. Krabs.
She could have just
And torturing
built
fucking
bombs.
Spider-Man for like 2
This girl
seconds.
is a true genius, wasting her talents making Daft Punk armor for street fights. She definitely
Daft
didn't
Punk
need to
armor
use
is crazy
Nuform
word.
to blow up Roxxon Plaza. Hell, just
Bonk.
getting around causes her to blow shit up. Why did the bombing need to revolve around Nuform? I get that it's poetic justice or
because
whatever,
that's
but
the-
she never even brings that up.
Because that's the power source. If they activate the new power source, then the whole city's gonna die of AIDS.
Completely unaddressed. She has all this tech. The plaza has been around for a while. Why couldn't she have just bombed it from the start before anyone else even got involved? Anyway, Finn flies Miles into the sky and blows up.
Dies
Oh,
like
so
Jesus.
sad. What a hero. Yeah, Finn's big turn was so
Self-sacrifice,
unearned.
baby.
Miles literally has to beat her into the dirt for Finn to even come around to reality, and she didn't even hear him out. She just
She was
saw
just
it
like,
for herself. She
"Oh.
was so hard-headed.
The city, it's blowing up. How could I have ever known? Oh,
Miles was never
fuck,
able
dude,
to
I have
get
no
rid of her.
idea. Why didn't
Anyway,
you tell me?
Miles absorbs new form into
The
him,
fuck's wrong with
and
you,
Finn
Miles?
sees the overlap between Miles' action and Rick's action. The game literally shows this. And so
Yeah.
she decides to save Miles and all of Harlem from exploding. I get the visual similarity, but the motivations are very different. Miles is near the new form to absorb it and sacrifice himself. Rick was trapped by his own bad plan while begging Finn to look away. She tells him to let go and sacrifices herself.
Rick was
So
a kind of a fucking dumbass.
weak.
He brought
Rick
his
is
sister
redemption.
into a nuke facility, evil ass devious building, and he's just like, "Oh no, something bad's about to happen. Avert your eyes, child, while I get disintegrated." And then she got disintegrated because she was like, "Maybe blowing up the city is bad." And then she was like, "Alright, maybe I'll just fly into the sky like Iron Man real
If we
quick.
even
Hold
want
on."
to call it that, to sacrifice I've ever seen.
New Game Plus Rick.
Finn is the worst part of Miles Morales' story. Her relationship with
Yeah.
Miles was a detriment to her character. She's a plot contrivance / whole machine, and her
That
supervillain
smackdown
identity
he laid on her was kinda
ultimately
crazy, though.
Superfluous. But I think a simple solution already exists within the game that could fix it. Finn definitely should have been part of the story. She had so much potential, but
Yeah.
Rick should have been the villain. Not only would Rick serve
What?
as a better overarching villain, but his inclusion in the present-day story would have made all of Finn's actions I just spent an unbelievable amount of time bitching about entirely forgivable. Keep Finn as the Tinkerer, but Rick is the true mastermind. Everything
Rick
she was
is the
doing
super
was due to Rick's
Tinkerer.
influence and eventual coercion, convincing Finn through their corrupted relationship that she was doing right by her family. Let me back up a little bit
Mi
because this
familia.
might seem out of left field. After all, everything we're told about Rick is that he's a great guy.
He's
That's perfect. Rick should have been a great older brother figure for Miles growing up. Only his death should be changed. Finn should still act weird when asked about Rick, not because he's dead and she's keeping that a secret, but because he's not the Rick
he should have
Miles
almost
knew.
died.
Finn still loves him, but trying to explain the situation to anyone is too complicated and hard. Rather than being killed by the new form exposure, Rick should be transformed. That's the big
What if he
reveal
got
after the
super
player
cancer,
is
huh?
led to believe that Rick died from the video Miles watched. Everything with Finn up to the confrontation at the theater should remain the same. But rather than Miles being interrupted by the Tinkerer, it's Rick who jumps down and snags the new form. Miles is stunned, thankful to see Rick is alive, but concerned by the situation. As he chases a new form powered Rick across the city, he sees the destruction he is causing, and quickly realizes this is no longer the man he admired. When Rick gets the best of Miles, Miles reveals his identity to him.
Oh, that
last-ditch effort
that shit was crazy. That like parry grab and smacking him against the guardrail. That was a nutty fucking
to
catch.
get Rick to stop. And Rick does spare Miles, revealing a hint of humanity that still remains, but he tells him how
What?
disappointed Finn will be before leaving him behind.
You're Spider-Man?
This is a big
I'm
risk,
heavily
but I think it
disappointed
would have
in you.
greatly benefited all characters involved and
Shaking
the
my head.
overall plot. But before getting into the specifics, let's discuss the elephant in the room. New form Rick. Picture Rick tinted new form blue with energy
Bruh.
blast powers.
So he's Electro.
Not the most inventive power set, but hey, I'm working with what we've got. Maybe he emits a low-level radiation and needs to be in some kind of containment suit at all times so the people around him don't get ill. I think a science accident Energy Man would fit well enough into Spider-Man's rogues gallery and could fight like a mix between Mr. Negative and Elektra. The reason that Rick would become this villainous mastermind is also easier to swallow. He was transformed and given newfound powers, but at a cost. Rick and Finn's crusade against Roxxon would continue after the accident, still paved with good intentions,
Except now he's
but
God.
now darkened by Rick's personal desire for revenge on Krieger and the knowledge that he's on borrowed time.
Yeah, he turned him
After
into a
running
blue
tests on
raspberry
himself,
badass,
he
and
realizes
then he
he'll
has to
eventually need
go
more new
beat him.
form to survive, but keeps that a secret. His turn to villainy didn't happen immediately. Only after he was seduced by his new abilities and came to fear his demise did he tip over to the dark side. This is something Finn is blind to, but Miles sees clearly. So, let's talk about Finn, because I don't want anyone to get the impression
I love
that
him.
I'm just replacing her and she goes away. No,
Yeah,
the
well, that'd probably
Tinkerer
be pretty
should
good.
be a red herring for the player. The early reveal of the leader of the Underground was a sleight of hand trick to hide the real mastermind, even though hints existed at Rick's influence the entire time. This rewrite would strip the truly horrendous actions that Finn takes throughout the game and transfer them to Rick. His presence would also explain some of the more
That dodge
boneheaded
was crazy
decisions she
work.
makes as being
Oh.
made out of love for her brother. She's been manipulated by Rick, dragged along on his quest for power, and hidden behind his confidence that he can keep her safe. This would also open up the avenue for Finn to be a love interest for Miles. The game set up flirty vibes with them early on, and then completely dropped them, which
It
was
feels
a
like
mistake.
it was
If
more of
Finn
like
had a thing for Miles,
a sibling type energy, you know? I
or
don't
was
know.
torn out of loyalty to her brother, that would have made their relationship
I don't know.
much
It was
more
just
dynamic.
weird vibes between
Imagine
them.
Finn trying to bring Miles over to
That
her
did not
side
pass the vibe
because
check.
she had a thing for him. Miles is so desperate to protect her because he feels the same way. When Miles manipulates
what if
her
he's just, like, a
emotions
go
by
like that?
pretending to want to join the Underground, that would have had such a greater impact on Finn, who not only realizes Miles lied to her, but that he also played with her heart. Their romantic feelings come to a head when they are captured by Roxxon and need to fight their way out. Miles and Finn open up to each other, but their conflicted loyalties get in the way. If you want a sympathetic antagonist, as much as Insomniac clearly did, I
Yeah,
think this
they
is
did
the
it with
best
Doc
way to
Ock.
go. Finn
You know what I
means
mean? They did it
but her
before.
love for her brother keeps her on the wrong path until her redemption. The final act of the game should play out the same. Rick leads the Underground to attack Roxxon Plaza, but not for
That-
the reasons that
That
Finn
uppercut was
thinks.
kind of saucy.
Actually,
Can't even
before
lie.
getting there, I want to talk about Rick's recontextualization of the Underground.
Uh-oh.
Him serving as the true leader makes
Why the
way
fuck am I reacting like I'm playing the game? He got wrapped around like, oh, they got me.
more
Oh,
sense.
you got me, guys.
Because just like how Finn was based on a real comic character, so was Rick. Rick Mason in the
Electro?
comics is the Tinkerer's son and a super spy known as the Agent. Rick is about 10 years older than Miles and Finn in this game. He could have had an entire covert life working for S.H.I.E.L.D. while they were young, before retiring from that lifestyle and joining up with the Roxxon.
Alright,
Rick's
that's doing a
time
little
as a
too
secret
much.
agent would justify his formation of the Underground. it makes sense that the agent would gather a small army to enact military-style terrorist attacks, especially if the underground weren't...
I like how he said that, like, agents are, like, whenever you think of spy stuff, agents is, like, he said it like agents clearly indicated, like, oh, yeah, they collect groups. But that'd be more like a general or, like,
instead, a mix of Rick's
commander or something,
and
you know?
people he has dirt on. That's why they agree to be part of a mission that's exposing them all to illness. They don't have a choice, solidifying Rick's sinister turn. Anyway, so Rick's attack on Roxxon Plaza causes the engagement of Harlem,
he's so
and
cooked.
it's his ultimate betrayal of Finn. Rick's real goal was not to destroy Nuform, but to gather the existing supply for himself and to create more. Finn never knew that. This also justifies the continued importance of Nuform in the game's plots, and why the Underground would continue to handle such volatile chemicals rather than just building bombs. Finn believes the plan is to destroy the plaza, but Miles learns the truth. Rick plans to create as much Nuform as possible, but his first step is to expose himself to the active reactor to extend his life and grant himself greater power. But both versions of the plan are pointless.
Nukes himself
Trigger's tinkering with the reactor
to become
would still happen,
stronger.
meaning the same threat is posed to Harlem. When Finn realizes this, she immediately tries to stop it, but Rick grows angry and tries to stop her. Miles steps between them. The final boss fight is Rick versus Miles, while Finn actively tries to stop the reactor from exploding. Miles wins by knocking Rick out and joins Finn down below. The same finale scene should play out, with Miles going to absorb all the energy into himself. While this is happening, Rick comes to in a moment of clarity, watching the people he cares about desperately trying to deactivate a bomb that he armed, seeing the danger he's put innocent people in, causes him to take immediate action. He sacrifices himself instead of Finn, repenting his actions and dying in the explosion. I think that this would be a great ending, since it keeps the tragedy, but would leave Finn around as a love interest for Miles, and as a new vigilante in Brooklyn, trying to make up for her actions.
We need less vigilantes.
I think that's a version
we need
of
less
events
heroes.
I would have preferred to see.
She should have still
Rick's
got slimed
presence
out.
over this game, and I think including him as a surprise
Or put in
villain
prison or
would have been
something.
the perfect thematic development to challenge Miles, while also saving Finn's character from permanent damage and allowing her to flourish into the future of the franchise. Giving Miles a superhero genius girlfriend with a tragic past would really distinguish him from any of Peter's love interests. But what do you think? Do you like Finn the
Biggest
way he
Loser
is?
is crazy work. Just slapped that on there. Okay, y'all. I know it was a really short stream today, but I am not feeling it. It's late. Play some more games tomorrow. Maybe a horror game.